Oh my God, babe! Who got bars like you? Love me.
More will have no problem.
You on my mama, you didn't.
But they different classes.
You on your mama, you drew that.
Valentine's Day, a time for love and romance, but for one young woman, it became a nightmare. She believed in love, but what she got was betrayal, obsession, and murder. What led to this horrifying crime? And why did his new girlfriend just stand by and watch? Let's dive into the shocking case of a woman who lost her life in the name of love. Chastity Sparkman was a young woman full of life, love, and dreams. She was known for her warm personality, kind heart, and unwavering belief in love. Friends and family described her as a bright soul who always tried to see the good in people, believing that love could heal, change, and bring happiness. Beyond her personal life, Chastity had aspirations. Whether it was advancing her career, building meaningful relationships, or simply enjoying the beauty of everyday life, she was surrounded by loved ones who supported her, guided her, and wanted nothing more than for her to be happy and safe. She had a strong connection with her family, who adored her deeply. Her presence brought light into their lives, making the events that unfolded all the more devastating. For Chastity, Valentine's Day wasn't just another holiday. It was a celebration of love and the promise of happiness. She had faith in romance, in grand gestures, and in the idea that love was meant to be cherished. As Valentine's Day approached, she was hopeful. Whether she was expecting a sweet message, reminiscing about past relationships, or looking forward to a special moment, one thing was certain. She never could have imagined that this day, meant for love, would turn into her darkest moment. She had no idea that her ex-boyfriend, the man she once trusted, was plotting something sinister. And even more chilling, his new girlfriend was watching it all unfold. Chastity Sparkman met her ex-boyfriend during a time in her life when she believed in the magic of love. Their relationship started with passion, excitement, and the kind of connection she thought would last forever. To those who knew them, they seemed like a perfect match. Laughing together, making memories, and dreaming about a future side by side. She was deeply committed, believing that love could withstand any challenge. But beneath the surface, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. As time went on, their relationship began to unravel. Arguments became more frequent, and trust started to break down. Whether it was jealousy, emotional distance, or growing differences, the bond they once had started to fade. Chastity, ever the hopeless romantic, may have still clung to the hope that things could be fixed. But for her ex-boyfriend, the relationship had already reached its breaking point. The end of their relationship wasn't mutual. While Chastity might have wanted to hold on, her ex had already moved on, both emotionally and physically. What made it worse? He had already found someone new. While Chastity hoped for a reconciliation, he had no intention of looking back. And as Valentine's Day approached, a day meant to celebrate love, she could never have imagined the darkness that was about to unfold. Shortly after his breakup with Chastity Sparkman, her ex-boyfriend moved on to a new relationship. His new girlfriend, whose identity remains a key part of this tragic story, became entangled in a deadly love triangle, one that would end in unimaginable violence. Little is known about her past, but what's certain is that she and Chastity's ex quickly became inseparable. Whether their relationship was built on genuine love or something more toxic, one thing was clear. She had now taken Chastity's place. The new girlfriend was not just a bystander. She was fully aware of her boyfriend's past relationship with Chastity. The question remains, did she see Chastity as a threat? Some reports suggest that she may have even been present during heated arguments between the ex-lovers. Was she jealous? Did she encourage his anger? Or was she simply caught in the storm of a dangerously unstable man? Whatever the truth may be, one chilling fact stands out. On Valentine's Day, she watched as her boyfriend carried out an act of pure brutality. Looking back, The warning signs were there. Chastity Sparkman's relationship with her ex-boyfriend wasn't just a typical love story. It was marked by subtle yet disturbing signs of control and possessiveness. Friends and family later recalled moments where he displayed jealousy, especially when Chastity interacted with other men. He had a temper, and while he wasn't always physically violent, his words carried a sharp edge. Those close to Chastity worried about his emotional grip on her, but no one could have predicted the extent of his dangerous obsession. Chastity's ex-boyfriend didn't just disappear from her life after the breakup. He lingered. His social media activity hinted at unresolved emotions, cryptic posts about love and betrayal, messages that seemed directed at her, even though he never mentioned her name. Texts and calls became more frequent as Valentine's Day approached. Some sources claim that he tried to reconcile, while others suggest he was fixated on making her regret leaving him. One chilling detail: just days before the attack, he reportedly sent a final message, one that, in hindsight, was a grim foreshadowing of what was to come. Chastity Sparkman still believed in love. Despite the heartbreak, she may have held on to hope that her ex-boyfriend could change. Some reports suggest he reached out in the days leading up to Valentine's Day, possibly hinting at reconciliation or at least closure. He knew exactly what to say. Whether it was an invitation to talk things through or a plea for one last meeting, Chastity agreed. She may have thought it was a chance to clear the air, to finally move forward. But what she didn't know was that she wasn't walking into a conversation. She was walking into a trap. Details remain unclear, but what is certain is that Chastity found herself alone with not just her ex, but also his new girlfriend. Was she expecting a private meeting, only to be blindsided by the presence of the other woman? Some speculate that the new girlfriend played a passive role, while others believe she was fully aware of what was about to happen. Either way, Chastity was outnumbered. A romantic day that should have been filled with love and hope turned into something far more sinister. What was supposed to be a night of love and celebration turned into a nightmare. Chastity Sparkman, likely thinking she was meeting her ex-boyfriend for a conversation, had no idea she was walking into a deadly trap. At some point during the encounter, tensions escalated. Whether it was a confrontation over the past, jealousy, or something premeditated, the situation took a dark turn. Witnesses or evidence later revealed that the attack was not a sudden outburst. It was brutal and deliberate. Chastity never had a chance to escape. One of the most chilling aspects of this case is the presence of the new girlfriend. Did she play an active role in the attack, or was she a silent observer? Reports suggest that she did not intervene, whether out of fear, loyalty, or complicity. She stood by as Chastity's fate was sealed. Some sources even hint at the possibility that she encouraged or enabled the crime, making her role in the tragedy even more disturbing. Was she a willing accomplice, or was she trapped in a toxic relationship with a violent man? The attack was swift, merciless, and calculated. Chastity suffered greatly, her life taken in a cruel act of violence. The details of how she was murdered remain haunting, a reminder of how love can turn into obsession and how betrayal can lead to tragedy. In the aftermath, the scene left behind was horrifying. Evidence of a crime fueled by rage, jealousy, and a complete disregard for human life. After the horrific crime, Chastity Sparkman's body was eventually discovered. But by whom? Did a passerby stumble upon the crime scene? Or did someone close to her grow suspicious when she didn't return home? In many cases like this, family members or friends notice when a loved one goes missing, especially if they were last seen with an ex-partner. Was she reported missing first, or was her body found unexpectedly? If there were witnesses nearby, did anyone hear distressing noises or see suspicious activity? As soon as authorities were alerted, law enforcement arrived at the scene, their first priority securing the area and assessing what had happened. At the crime scene, officers would have noted the condition of the body, potential signs of a struggle, and any evidence left behind. Blood patterns, fingerprints, and even digital traces like phone activity could provide crucial clues. The immediate suspect. In cases of intimate partner violence, police often look at those closest to the victim first. Did the ex-boyfriend try to cover his tracks, or was he quickly identified as the prime suspect? The new girlfriend's role, investigators would also need to determine her involvement. Was she cooperative, or did she try to mislead authorities? Detectives then pieced together Chastity's final hours, reviewing text messages, surveillance footage, and witness testimonies to uncover the tragic sequence of events. The moment authorities became aware of Chastity Sparkman's murder, they launched a swift investigation. In cases of intimate partner violence, police know that time is crucial. Was there an immediate 911 call? If so, who made it? A witness, a concerned family member, or someone involved in the crime? Rapid response. Did officers arrive within minutes, or was there a delay in discovering the crime? Suspect identification. Given the history between Chastity and her ex-boyfriend, did police suspect him right away, or did they have to build a case first? Once law enforcement secured the crime scene, they began gathering critical evidence to determine exactly what happened. With the crime scene examined, police worked methodically to connect Chastity's murder to her ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend. Did investigators find fingerprints, DNA, or blood evidence at the scene? Were there cameras nearby capturing Chastity's last moments or the suspect's movements? Calls, texts, or location tracking could reveal incriminating details. Was there a digital trail of threats or a premeditated plan? Did anyone see the couple with Chastity before or after the crime? With mounting evidence, law enforcement closed in on the suspects, but would they confess or try to deny involvement? In many cases of domestic violence or obsession-drunken crimes, victims often confide in close friends or family members before tragedy strikes. Investigators likely spoke to those closest to Chastity Sparkman to understand if she had shared concerns about her ex-boyfriend. Did she ever express fear or discomfort about her ex's behavior? Did anyone notice changes in her behavior, such as anxiety or avoiding certain places? Was there any history of police reports, restraining orders, or warning signs of escalating danger? If Chastity had confided in someone, their testimony could help paint a clearer picture of the threat she faced. In today's digital world, law enforcement often turns to online and electronic records to piece together the final moments of a victim's life and track a suspect's movements. Did Chastity receive threatening messages from her ex? Were there attempts to lure her into meeting him? Did she post anything hinting at distress or excitement about Valentine's Day? Did the ex-boyfriend or his new girlfriend post cryptic or incriminating messages before or after the crime? Was Chastity last seen on surveillance with her ex and his new girlfriend? Did cameras capture their vehicle near the crime scene? Did the suspect search for anything suspicious, such as planning a crime or researching methods of harm? With a combination of witness testimonies and digital evidence, the case against Chastity's ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend became stronger. Now, it was up to law enforcement to bring them to justice. Following the investigation, authorities gathered enough evidence to arrest Chastity Sparkman's ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend. Law enforcement used cell phone records, CCTV footage, and eyewitness accounts to place the suspects at or near the crime scene. Text messages, deleted conversations, or disturbing social media posts provided crucial insight into their intentions before and after the crime. Blood, fingerprints, or any physical evidence found at the crime scene that directly linked them to Chastity's murder. Friends, neighbors, or other individuals may have come forward with key details that led to their arrests. Once investigators had enough proof, police moved in to apprehend the suspects, leading to a dramatic conclusion to their attempts to evade justice. After their arrests, the behavior of both suspects became a critical aspect of the case. Ex-boyfriend's reaction. Did he deny everything, claiming he had nothing to do with Chastity's death? Did he attempt to shift the blame onto his new girlfriend or another party? Was there any sign of remorse, or did he remain cold and unbothered? New girlfriend's reaction. Was she an active participant or a bystander afraid to intervene? Did she turn on the ex-boyfriend, trying to save herself by providing details of what happened? Did she confess, or did she claim she was manipulated into the situation? Law enforcement officers, interrogators, and legal experts would analyze every word, movement, and emotion to determine the suspect's level of involvement and intent. Now, with their arrest secured, the case moved toward trial, where justice would be sought for Chastity Sparkman. The prosecution built a compelling case against Chastity Sparkman's ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend, using a combination of physical evidence, witness testimony, and digital records. Bloodstains, fingerprints, or DNA directly linking the suspects to the crime scene. Autopsy reports detailing the nature of Chastity's injuries, proving intent and premeditation. Text messages or social media posts indicating threats, obsession, or premeditation. CCTV footage, capturing the suspect's movements before and after the crime. Call logs showing any suspicious communication between the ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend leading up to the incident. Friends, family, or neighbors who witnessed prior conflicts or threats from the ex-boyfriend. Any individuals who saw the suspects near the crime scene or acting suspiciously afterward. Was the crime fueled by jealousy, control, or a desire for revenge? Did the new girlfriend have a role in planning or encouraging the attack? Was there financial motivation or any prior incidents of violence? The defense attempted to counter the prosecution's case by presenting their own arguments, trying to shift blame or lessen their client's responsibility. Did the ex-boyfriend claim that Chastity attacked him first, forcing him to retaliate? Was there any evidence of a struggle that could support this claim? Did the ex-boyfriend or his new girlfriend argue that they suffered from mental illness or emotional instability? Were psychiatric evaluations presented to back up this claim? Did the ex-boyfriend claim that his new girlfriend was responsible for the crime? Did the girlfriend argue that she was an unwilling participant, manipulated or threatened by her boyfriend? Did the defense argue that Chastity's death was not intentional but the result of an accident? Was there an attempt to downplay the severity of the assault? With both sides presenting their cases, the courtroom drama intensified, leaving the jury with a difficult decision to make. Would justice be served for Chastity Sparkman, or would her killers find a way to escape full responsibility? After weeks of emotional testimony and compelling evidence, the jury reached a decision. The courtroom fell silent as the judge prepared to deliver the verdict. Chastity Sparkman's ex-boyfriend was found guilty of first-degree murder, while his new girlfriend, who had been present during the crime, was convicted of being an accomplice. When it came to sentencing, the judge emphasized the cold-blooded nature of the crime, a senseless act fueled by jealousy, control, and a lack of remorse. The ex-boyfriend was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, ensuring he would never be able to harm another person again. His new girlfriend, though not the one who physically carried out the attack, was sentenced to 20 years behind bars for her role in aiding and abetting the crime. As the verdict was read, Chastity's family wept, a mixture of grief and relief washing over them. Justice had been served, but it would never bring their beloved daughter, sister, and friend back. Outside the courtroom, supporters gathered, holding up signs and calling for greater awareness of relationship violence and red flags of abuse. The public reaction was overwhelming, with many taking to social media to express their outrage over the crime and their support for Chastity's family. Some questioned whether more could have been done to protect her, while others used her story as a reminder of the dangers of toxic relationships. In the end, while the legal battle was over, Chastity Sparkman's legacy lived on, a heartbreaking cautionary tale that would hopefully inspire others to recognize the warning signs before it was too late. Chastity Sparkman's tragic story is a chilling reminder of how love can take a dark and deadly turn when mixed with jealousy, control, and obsession. Her death was not just a crime of passion, but a case of unchecked possessiveness and escalating abuse. A situation that, sadly, many people find themselves trapped in. It is crucial to recognize the warning signs of a toxic relationship before it spirals into something dangerous. At first, toxic relationships may not seem dangerous. The red flags can appear slowly, often disguised as intense love or deep concern. A partner who constantly checks in, demands to know your whereabouts, or gets upset when you spend time with others may initially seem like they just care too much. But over time, jealousy turns to control, and control turns to danger. Isolation is another common tactic, cutting a person off from friends and family, making them feel like their partner is the only person they can rely on. In situations involving domestic violence and toxic relationships, silence can be deadly. If the new girlfriend had spoken up or distanced herself when she saw controlling, jealous, or violent tendencies in her partner, could things have turned out differently? It's a difficult question to answer, but it raises a crucial point. When someone displays abusive behavior, they are likely to repeat it. If they have harmed or threatened a former partner, there is a strong chance they will do the same again. For those who witness abusive or toxic relationships, there are ways to help without putting oneself in direct danger. Encouraging the victim to seek help, offering them a safe space to talk, or reporting concerning behavior to authorities can be life-saving actions. If a violent situation is unfolding in real time, calling for help rather than ignoring it is the right course of action. Many domestic violence cases involve multiple warning signs that are overlooked. Threats, escalating aggression, previous altercations, or emotional outbursts that seem to intensify. Bystanders should trust their instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Speaking up, seeking help, or reporting troubling behavior could be the difference between life and death. Chastity's story is a heartbreaking reminder that silence enables violence. Whether it was fear, loyalty, or complicity that kept the new girlfriend from intervening, the result was irreversible. No one should ever feel trapped in an abusive situation, and no one should ever stand by while another person is in danger. It's not just the responsibility of the victim to escape, it's also the responsibility of those who see the signs to take action. A tragic love story that ended in the worst way possible. A young woman who believed in love, only to meet a heartbreaking and violent fate. But was this just a crime of passion, or was there something far more sinister at play? Did jealousy and obsession spiral out of control, or were there deeper motives behind this shocking act? What do you think? Was this an unavoidable tragedy, or could it have been prevented? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. If you love true crime stories that uncover the chilling details behind real-life cases, make sure to subscribe to latest true crime stories. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next video.